Hey guys, welcome to yet another Arty Wednesday. I'm Merrill. So today we're going to see what Zentangle art is all about. So what is Zentangle? Well, you can think of it as art that many artists do, but the difference is that it's done on a surface and not a person. It's a form of doodling, and these days people do it to relax in their free time. The uniqueness of this art is that people create different patterns and link them together, and it is a combination of different shapes. Today I'm going to introduce some very basic patterns to you. For today's artwork, all you are going to need is a fine tip black pen and some paper. That's it. This is an A4 size paper. Again, you can literally use any kind of paper to begin this sort of art. If you don't have A4 size paper at home, you could also use your school notebook. These line pages are perfect, absolutely perfect to begin learning this sort of an art, because you have lines that are already ready. So on those lines you can just begin creating any sort of patterns like lines or circles. So if you don't have A4 size paper, it's absolutely fine, because then you can start practicing all the shapes that you want to make just on this sort of like a book. I'm going to show you different designs on the A4 size sheet today. Let me show you the pens that you can use for this art. You can use this sort of a pen with a thin nib. It's called a Pilot pen, Pilot High-Tech Point. These are other calligraphy pens that you can use for this sort of art. They have different nibs. Number 1 has this sort of like a pointy nib. Number 2 has a little flatter, oops, this is leaking a bit, has a little flatter nib. Number 3 is a bit more flat and fat compared to number 2. If you do not want to invest because you're just beginning the artwork, a plain ball pen also works absolutely fine. So either is, this is just like a plain ball pen. Let me show you. It's as good. Like I would use it for this sort of art if I didn't have those other pens. This one's a cello winner. And I also have a pencil handy for any shading work I want to do. Let's begin. I'm going to first just grab the 0.1 pen, and I'm just going to draw a couple of freehand squares, or I'm not sure all of them will be exact squares, but freehand squares on this paper, and then in the squares I'll show you different designs for each square. As you can see, some of them aren't really clean squares, but that's okay, because it's just a border, so I can show you the different designs. I'm going to zoom in now so that you can see what I'm doing very clearly. I'm going to first grab the Pilot pen, and I'm going to do very simple and basic lines. So starting from here, I need to make sure that my camera is recording this. You just draw lines close together. Look at that. Be very slow in the beginning, because you may be practicing, and the more you practice, the more steady your hand is. So if you're a younger child, don't worry, especially if you're around 5 or 6 it's no problem if your lines are not absolutely perfect. You have to like literally go very slow. Can you see that? I'm gonna now turn my paper around a little, and I'm going to do one line like that and the other line like that. And now the direction of my lines are going to change. So I'm gonna do here. You see that? And in the same way, I'm gonna do here. If you want to use a ruler because you're more precise compared to me, you're free to do so. And then again, I'm gonna go with this same direction that I did before. And you'll see that the design will start to take a very unique shape. Again, so as you can see, it's just one simple shape. I'm going straight, and then I'm going slanting, and then I'm going slanting, and then again I'm going straight and slanting, and you'll get the gist. And if you don't get it, watch the video again from the point of where I started it and you'll understand it. But you may not even have to do that. You guys are very, very smart, I know. That's the first design with lines. You see how the triangle moves? It sort of looks three-dimensional almost. And they were just lines. How cool is that? Now the next design. For the next design, I'm going to use this sort of a shape. Let me show you on the rough page. Kind of like a leaf or a petal. A drop. I think it's like a drop. Can you see? One pointy edge and round at one edge. So you know how you usually draw a triangle like that, but it's not a triangle. I go round and then let the points meet. So that's the kind of shape I'm going to explore with next. I'm going to change the pen to this fine tip pen which I showed you earlier for this design, to show you the difference in how dark and light the design ends up looking with the different pens you use. So I'm going to start from here this time, and that's it. I'm just going to draw these little drops. Can you see this? The pen is quite dark compared to the other pen that I used. That's it. I'm gonna fill this entire square with these drops. I'm gonna stop there, but you get the gist. And what you also can do later is, you know, the parts in between the leaves you can color black, so you get a very cool background to this. So next I'm going to show you how you can combine lines and dots. Again, I'm going to use the same pen, and look at this. Very easy. Line, dot, a dark dot. Then from here, line, dot. They're like tiny lollipops. Line, dot, line, dot. Line, dot, line. depending how crowded and how dark and how light you want it, you can change your pen accordingly. In the next one, I'm going to do lines and drops and dots. So let me tell you how that works. Let's do just a line like that, okay, and at the end of the line, let's make it 2 drops, and in the middle of the drop, let's do the line and the dot that we did. So you get this sort of a design. So I'm going to start. I should have started from the bottom actually. Let me show you. A drop and a drop and a line and a line. If you don't want to do the drop first, you can also do the lines first, and I'll show you how it ends up looking. Then you can do your leaf. Let me show you again. Line, okay, line, dot, line, dot, now I'm going to show you circles. So first I'm just going to draw a couple of circles, and then we'll decide what to do inside those circles. Really simple, okay? Really simple stuff. The reason I'm showing you this is to show you how simple art can be. Now you can draw maybe lines in one circle, or you can draw many circles inside one circle, like another circle and a dot. Or perhaps you can draw, like just scribble inside one circle. Scribble, scribble. Or you can make some circles completely black. So they look like a combination of different circles. And you can draw some circles with a thicker outline. When you actually fill it out in a pattern that you're doing, it ends up looking quite cool. Now the next thing I want to show you is, since you've done circles also now and you've done drops, let's show you some flower petals. Okay, we'll draw like half, fill this entire square with designs of half flowers. So I want to do 2 curvy lines like that, and here inside the curvy line I'm going to make just light dots like that, and then over it I'm going to do these petals. So they are light drops, but they are U's. They are long stretched out U's. So it's like almost like sunflower petals. And in the middle of them, I'm gonna draw a line. Again, long petals. Lines. show it to you from up close. Let's do some more like that. Always remember, when you come to the end of it, you want to stop at the page end, at the line end, wherever your shape is ending, so it won't come out of this line. Let me now show you how the same thing would look with the ball pen that I was talking about. And that's with the ball pen. So this is why I was saying you can actually literally use any pen. Maybe I'll continue using the ball pen for the next one as well. And look at the different shapes we've already got. Let's do some more. The reason I'm showing you this, guys, is because I used to always think that this art is so complicated and I would never be able to do it. And I just very recently tried it out and I was so excited that I said I must show it to all of you as well. I wonder how many of you may be thinking that this is so difficult. So now we're just going to do some curvy S's, okay? Just like curvy lines. No particular order. You can go from end to end like this as well, or you can draw multiple lines if you'd like. And if you wanted to be, see, like this in itself is a design, and if you were drawing waves or things like that, you could use these kind of lines. Now if I wanted to go do something else, I can change the direction of my waves. Now instead of going that way, I can start going this way. And then again I can change my the side that I was going on and start drawing this way. I'm just going to divide this into half so I can show you another design. But if you were doing curvy lines, say like this, you could also fill these curvy lines with, sorry, my battery died. So what I was saying is you can fill these curvy lines with circles, like not all of them, but every alternate one. So you get this sort of a look. In this other half of the thing, I'm going to switch my pens again because my ball pen is leaking, and I'm going to show you another design, which is, do you know when we draw fish in school, we just do the fish scales, we use U's. So these U shapes are another cool shape you can do to fill out a space. Just fill it out with as many U's as you can. So the first one is very simple because it's attached to this line, so you can just draw U's. But when you reach your next layer, what you have to do is start in the middle of the U of one and then go into the other. Can you see? So it's not starting from here but it's starting from the topmost part of the U and connecting it to the topmost part of the U of the other one. Can you see? Like that. From this point unto this point. And then again this point unto this point. So all the points, the tops of my U's will be connected. Now if I wanted to be like a little more detailed, what I can do is put another close layer on top of this, so it looks almost like a double U. So it gets like, let me show you when I get it closer to the camera. You saw what I did? This particular line of the U, we got a layered line. And for this pattern, what I did was, I went on top of the same U but just went a little higher. For my next design, I'm going to do some curves. Actually, I don't know what you call these, but I'm going to start like that. But instead of drawing a circle, I'm going to go in a spiral. I think it's called a spiral. Yes, it is. So I'm going to do many spirals and attach them to each other like this. One can be done clockwise. Clockwise is the direction of in which the clock moves. It's called clockwise. So you got 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 4, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock. This is clockwise when your hand is moving like that. And when they say anti-clockwise, it's this way. When your hand is moving against the clock, so it goes from 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 backwards. So you can do these by going some of them anti-clockwise and some of them clockwise. And at the end of them, put some of these dots. Very easy. Last 3 left. Let me show you some quick and easy shapes. I'm going to do some flowers. So one curve line, then the other curve line, and I want to put a dot in the middle of it here and tiny little petals. So that's one flower. Then I can do another one. Same way, dot and tiny little petals. So easy. Oops. I hope you got that. If you didn't get it, I'm gonna do it again. Sorry about that. Use dot in the center of it and tiny little petals. Going to show you how just simple triangles create such a 3D effect. I'm going to divide this, and what I'm going to do is draw a triangle on it. So one triangle like that, So it's already forming a shape of its own. But now inside every triangle, I'm going to draw a couple of more triangles. Show you. I'm going to start from here and do another triangle meeting these points like that. And then in the same way, inside this triangle, I'm going to start here and meet here. Again, start here and meet here. And I'm going to go on and on. Till I get this shape. Can you see how it starts looking? Same way, I'm going to do this triangle. And finally, in our last square, I'm going to show you two different types of leaves. I'm going to divide this triangle, this square into half, which will give me two triangles. And do you know the leaf shape, right? Like that. It's very simple. One and two. They are lines that are like that, and they join together to give you this shape for a leaf. Can you see? It's just one curvy line and then the other. Very simple. You can just leave it like that, or you can do an actual leaf, which is a line and many lines inside it for the veins of the leaf. Can you see? And the other leaf that I would like to show you is the same thing, this same shape. But now in the shape, what I'm going to do is first divide it into half. And then you remember these that we did, these spiral sort of things. Instead of drawing straight lines, I'm going to curve my line a little. So you get an unusual vein design. Can you see? Divide it into half and there you have it, guys. These are the many and we can do actually even more of these shapes, but for today this is all I'm going to show you, and probably in our next tutorial I can show you how we can make some cool art with this. This in itself will look nice even if you do the squares really neatly, or even if you leave them like that, you can actually frame this on your wall and it'll look very nice. I haven't finished some of these. You can complete them and do them as well. You don't have to leave it so incomplete like me. So try out different shapes, guys. And those of you who are part of our WhatsApp group, do send us pictures of your beautiful artwork. Hope you had fun. Bye bye. Thank you so much for joining us today. If you liked our video, don't forget to give us a thumbs up. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel.